Sure.
Okay, so when you are ready, shall we start our workshop?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start it. Can you all see my screen as well?
Not yet, teacher.
Not yet, sir.
Yes, teacher, I see it.
Okay, so let me start now. So before we start our workshop, first of all, I would like to say thank you for joining here. And we start, let me to introduce myself. My name is Teacher Chumo. You can call me Teacher Chumo. Okay, here are some information about me. Okay. So, yes. So are you all ready, teachers?
Yes, Chair.
We will start now. So before we start, let me show you my plan for today's workshop. Here are the plan for my workshop, teachers. First of all, we are going to start taking small quicks. Okay, it's concerning about you. And also after that, we are going to do discussion in the breakout room. After that, we are going to do discussion with me together. And also there will be question and answer session. At the end, there will be feedback session. Okay. So before we start, let me request all you again. Since my workshop based on discussion, I would like you to participate in my workshop by discussing with your partner together and also by discussing with me. Okay. So thank you for your cooperation. So first of all, I'm going to send the questions from my pool. So let me share my pool and I want you all to answer the question that I have launched. So can you all see the question right now? So for the question
Yes.
that I have launched, you all need to just answer for yes, no questions. And also you all are going to get only 3 minutes for it. Okay. If you got some problem while you are answering, you can also raise hand and ask. Okay. Okay, thank you so much, teacher. Thank you for your answer. So let me keep that word. Okay, as a second part, we are going to do discussion. For the discussion, I'm going to show you some questions here. So can you see my slide again? Yes, can you?
Yes.
So now I'm going to send you to the breakout room. In the breakout room, I want you all to just get these questions here. First of all, you have to ask about your friends, whether they have given instructions or not. Feedback or not. After that, you have to discuss these questions. It's like, what is feedback? Why are we giving feedback? And also another thing is that we are going to discuss about when are we going to give feedback and how are we going to give feedback. Okay. So can you remember the question that you are going to discuss with your friends? So you always get 10 minutes for it. Okay. There is no right or right answer, so you can just get freely. Okay. You don't need to worry about the answers.
Teacher, can you show me the question, please?
If you can see, I can also send the question from the chat box as well. Yes. Can you see my slide as well, teacher? No?
Yeah, I can see the slides, but it's not the question slides.
It's like why, how, like this one, right, teacher? Yes.
Not
This is
really,
it.
teacher. We can only see the power of feedback introduction title.
Early. Okay, so
Yeah.
let me share one more time again. Sorry. How about now? Can you see the question?
Oh, yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher. And also here are questions that you have to discuss. I will also send from the chat. Can you all see the questions?
Yes,
We can
teacher.
see it in the chat now, teacher.
Okay, so if you are all are ready, let me send you all to breakout room. So you will get 10 minutes to discuss. Okay. And one thing, do not forget to remember about what you had discussed. Thank you.
How about you? What do you also the same with you after the presentation or writing and also at the time you check the feedback? It's like lesson number one, yeah?
Yeah. And we have other teachers too, right? How about other teachers? What do you think about?
And also, like, the feedback also help the students improve their speaking, improve their skills and the performance as well. And it also builds the communication and understanding, I guess. And what about you guys, teacher?
Yeah, by giving feedback, students can know their strengths and weaknesses in
have to do what they have to do more, what they have to do next. I think feedback is really important. Giving feedback is. That's all. Che.
Yes, teacher, for me, also I have been working also as a teacher for 3 years.
Hello, teacher. Are you here?
Yes. Yes, teacher. I can hear their voice, teacher.
We need that, teacher.
Yes. So for second question, teacher, when do we give feedback? I think sometimes I give feedback if they make mistakes, if it is echo correction, not directly, just repeating after their pronunciation, if it is make mistake. And sometimes I give feedback, they definitely notice how to make more effective sentences and also where they make wrong and right. So they got the idea how to extend their how to avoid their mistake next time. So it's really important to notice their mistakes and sometimes giving positive feedback to foster their mind is building confidence, teacher. I think if they
correct an error and then making students motivated and any other.
So how do we give feedback?
And the third question is when, right, teacher? When do the teachers give feedback? How is the last question?
Yes. My mistake, sorry.
All right. So when do
I agree with you too. Like, why do we give feedback? It's like maybe like a reflection of what we learn and then how well we can connect of what we learn and used it back so the teacher can give feedback and see if the students can always like have maybe like if they have mistakes, they will learn that they have mistakes, if they can know more or use more or something like that, like for the better outcome, right? So that's why I think feedbacks are important. Okay. How about this in Su?
Hello. So I mostly give feedback for two reasons.
Mm-hmm.
To know their mistakes and
Mhm.
also to get motivation. So when we are in ELT, we are also given feedback like one feedback and a core feedback. Yeah, one feedback is like the feedback talking about how you can achieve for your words, for your assignment, for your presentation. And the core feedback is like that. They will point out your mistake or
Oh.
your
Do you like give it in a written form or a one-to-one feedback?
Hello, teacher. I think we finished how and when and why.
Yes, thank you for your discussion. You can leave from the room if you have candidates.
Okay.
Yes, teacher.
This time, let me share. Okay, as for me, yes, I have ever give feedback to my students during their group work or only individual work and the whole class. First of all, I told them their positive and their good works. I think feedback is sharing idea or suggestion to help my students do better. Uh, so, uh, why I give feedback to my students for this question?
Teacher, we finished discussing.
Okay, thank you, Ted. So you can leave from the breakout room too. Thank you for your discussion.
Details to make it interesting. Yeah, like this. As for me, my teaching tips for feedback are as a role play. For example,
So I don't even forgot. But that's a cool way. And actually, I think it's really suitable for the young learner classes.
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
So to prevent their shyness, I think you should get feedback indirectly
Sure.
and constructively.
Yeah. That's it. I agree with you. How about other teachers? Joe, we're done.
Thank you. You can leave from the breakout room too.
Thank you, teachers.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Do you guys also have any other techniques in like the same as sandwich techniques? Can you suggest some?
So for me, it's for the writing. I don't tell anymore. Give the shorthand like the one which is spelling error, so SB, and then and then what also WF either one teacher. So in this
Oh,
way, they can check the mistake by themselves, so they can remember more teacher by in the teacher.
Teacher, is it like you don't tell the specific mistake, but you just say that there is a mistake and they have to find it by themselves?
Yeah, teacher. Especially I get in the writing assignment, teacher. At the end of the writing, I write down short form. For beside the short form, I write down the long form to SP is the spelling and the underline in the writing. They can check the mistake where they are wrong, like that one, teacher. If they want to move, they can ask me.
Oh, okay, that is interesting. Thank you, teacher.
Okay, teacher.
I think teacher is sharing about correction code.
Oh, yes, teacher.
Yes. Thank you. Thanks for sharing, teacher. You can leave from the breakout room. Yes. So welcome back, teacher. Thank you so much for your discussion. So I think you all have discussed really well in your breakout room, right? So now I want a volunteer who will be sharing what kind of thing did you discuss for the question that I have provided. So any volunteer, could you please share back what you have discussed with your friends? Just one volunteer. Yes. No teachers. So if you want to share like one question, it also fine. Yes. So anyone?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, thank you.
For first question, teacher, what is feedback? Feedback normally teachers use to make to promote student requirements area and also needs, and so that's why it's really essential. And it is normally we put the feedback section at the end of the lesson and giving and written down some words or some languages on the whiteboard and elicit some mistake together with student. So it's really important to provide student performance and also highlight areas of requirements and to improve areas for improvement. So it's really essential to get a better results.
Okay, thank you, teacher. Check that out. By the way, are you answering for all the questions?
No, teacher, just for one question.
Okay, yes, thank you, teacher. So yes, any volunteer who want to answer? Who want to discuss for the questions that you have discussed with your friends? Hello? Only three more?
Yeah, teacher, I want to answer for one question. We use feedback to help students to know about their strengths and weakness and to get our learning objectives and to achieve our learning goal and to improve their learning or their weakness and strength and to improve better than before, teacher.
Yes, thanks for sharing, teacher. So we got what and we got why. So there are three, I think two more questions to discuss. So who wanna answer for one? Anyone?
May I?
Yes, thank you, teacher.
Yeah. For our group, we discussed about like when do we give the feedback. In that session, we say like especially after the assessment, we give the feedback to our students. And sometimes we also did during the activities when we are monitoring and if the students are doing something wrong and we point out and then we let them know and this is not really right and wrong, blah, 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 so that they can continue their works and activities really well. And that's we discussed about the question.
Okay, thank you, teacher. So the last chance or the last question, who want to take that set? How are we going to give feedback? So anyone who want to answer for? Yes. Okay.
May I, teacher?
Yes, teacher Min Yu Yedana. Yes.
Yes. Okay, for the last question, yes, I give feedback to my students by saying what is good first, then politely suggesting how to make it better. For example, your writing is clear, but you could add more details to make it interesting, just like this. Yeah. In order to satisfy, how can I say, they make mistake, but by hearing our feedback, not to um, worry about the feedback. So in order to satisfy for my feedback, so I see the good point first, and then I see their mistake later. Yeah, just like it. Thank you, teacher.
Yeah, thank you for your sharing, and also thank you for giving example as well. Yeah, thank you so much for your sharing each and every teachers. Okay, so now before we start, I think I heard some like technique that you all mentioned about that is like sandwich method. So do you like using sandwich method, by the way?
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. So yeah, how did you make the student remember the action point? According to sandwich method, we are going to start with good thing, right? After good thing, what kind of thing are we going to see? Do you all
Kind
know?
of like fun.
Improvement.
Yeah.
That they should improve. They should try to improve. Okay. After that, at the end, we are going to end with
Praising.
praising. Okay. Maybe like a kind of good thing again. Okay. Yes. But the question is that most of the teacher just get about, how shall we make the student remember the thing that it, because this is the something that is really essential, right? So how will you make it remember?
Or we can ask questions.
You are going to ask questions.
Yeah, for example, if they are not sure about their grammar, we can ask ICQ questions. For example, when teacher asks a question start, will you answer I do or I am? I ask like that to make sure that.
Yes, thank you, teacher. How about anyone who use like different technique in order to make student remember about their action point? Anyone? Because I heard most of the teachers are talking about sandwich. Actually, we are not going to talk about sandwich today. Okay. So what you can do in order to make student remember about action point is that you can also provide some follow-up tasks. Okay. For example, if you tell them the students need to learn about maybe present tense, so you can also provide some link or some website or some exercises based on their action point, and then you can ask them to do that too. Okay. So yes, thank you for your discussion, teacher. So now let's get back to our discussion back. So you all have already discovered these questions. So let me also share what I have prepared for these questions. Okay. So let's have a look. Can you all see my slide? What kind of thing can you see from my slide, by the way? So yes. What is the slide that you are seeing right now?
Actually, about giving
Given
questions.
Given feedback.
Yes,
feedback.
thank you,
What
teacher.
and why?
So now,
When and how?
thank you. So now we are going to look at the answer for these questions. So first of all, we are going to start with what is feedback. So according to Element and Luke and to me, so feedback is something that you can see here. I want you all to read for about 2 minutes. That is the meaning of feedback. Okay. So according to the meaning here, you might think that we will be giving the feedback only to the teacher. But according to your discussion, I heard that you all are thinking as a teacher who are giving feedback to the learner. Is it right? So can we give a feedback to both of them? So have you also
Yes.
any experience of giving feedback to the teachers? Have you got any teacher in your class?
Yes, teacher.
Yes. Okay. So for today workshop, you can also not only with your students, but also with the teachers. Okay. For some teacher, they might be, working as a class teacher, right? Since they are working as a class teacher, they might have another teacher who will be assisting there or who will be helping there. So, in order to help them, you can also give feedback as well. Okay. So this is a questions for the very first questions. What is the feedback? Okay. So do you remember what is the second question, teachers? Yes.
Why? Why do we give feedback?
Why do we give feedback? Like I have going to give feedback not only to the teacher but also the students for me, I would like to give feedback because I want them to improve their teaching, and also for the students, I want them to improve their learning as well. That's why I am giving feedback here. This is just my personal point of view. And for another reason is that I want to rate their self-awareness as well. Okay, if they improve their self-awareness, they will be able to do better in the future. I believe that. That's why these are the reasons why I am giving feedback. Okay, so let's move to another two questions that we still need to discuss. So the questions are about when are we going to give feedback, right? So before we talk about when are we going to give feedback, let's look at two things here. What is that? Cold. Cold. And also another one is
Hot.
So there are two kinds of feedback, cold feedback and hot feedback. So do you know what are these? I think some teacher also mentioned in the group, but the meaning will not be really the same. Yeah, I had heard some teacher also mention about cold and ion hot. I think one feedback. Is that right? I think there is a one group who is discussing about cold and warm. So can you share your idea about cold and warm? Anyone from that group? I think one teacher mentioned that when she was in ELT, she have learned about cold feedback and warm feedback. So would you mind sharing to your friends? Hello. Yes. Is there any that group here? Hello. No more. Okay. Okay. Yeah. If you can't remember, also fine. Okay. So let me share you about cold feedback and hot feedback here. For me, cold feedback here means we are giving feedback maybe another day. For the hot feedback, we will be giving feedback immediately. So this is the answer for when will we give feedback. Sometimes, like some of the teacher mentioned, we will give the feedback during the task. Okay. Sometimes we are going to give feedback only at the end, or maybe like sometime it can be in another day. Okay. So for the last questions also, I think that you all have to get this. There are two versions of like giving feedback. Some teacher, they give feedback through writing in written versions. For some teacher, they might be giving, spoken one. So what about you? Which one do you prefer? You like spoken or written? If you're the one who likes spoken, can you raise hand? Okay. If you're the one who likes spoken, raise hand. If you're the one who like written, thumbs up. If you like both, don't do anything. Okay, let me see. So answer is for
Spoken.
Spoken. How about for written?
Written.
Okay. So many people are not doing anything. So it means that they love both.
We like both.
You love both. Okay, thank you. So any questions about the full question that you have discussed? If you have a question, you can ask. Have you got clear answer about what you have discussed in the breakout room? If you still have questions about that, you can still ask. So we still have time. Okay, I will wait for 2 minutes. After that, if you don't have, we are going to move to the last one. Okay, 1 more minute. Okay, can you all see my slide again? Okay. Yes, can you all see now?
Yeah, we can see like cohort written spoken one.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning what you can see. Okay, so now for the last one, I'm going to share some of my personal experience. Whenever I give feedback, first of all, what I do is like I try to observe, right? So while we are observing something, what should you do? You need to let's imagine. Yeah, sure, no doubt. Let's imagine like you all are observing one teacher is teaching in the classroom, example. So you need to note down what they have done. You can also imagine as a teacher, right? For example, let's imagine like your students are doing role play. Okay, at that time you need to sit down and observe what they are doing. Okay, one thing what you should do while you are observing it, you should note down. So when you note down, you need to note down for how, not what. So do you know what does it mean? What is how and not what? Hear me. What kind of thing are we going to note down? Yes, teacher?
I think you don't need to note down their mistakes only. You just have to note down how will you give the feedback to them.
Oh, okay. Thank you for sharing your opinion. How about other teacher? What do you think? What will be how and not what here? So let's imagine like, can you share something?
That what means I think we should not describe or we should not mention their weakness or something like that.
Okay, yes, thank you, teacher. Thank you for sharing. So here, I am going to, as a teacher trainer or as a senior teacher, so what I am going to do is like, I am going to note down how they are teaching, not their actions. Okay, so we are going to focus on their teaching. So we will write down all the things they did concerning with the teaching. So let's imagine like they are teaching grammar by using PPP. So I might note down all the things like what they are doing for presentation, practice, production. Okay, so you can also imagine as let's say as a teacher. The teacher also, they might be doing role play like I have mentioned, right? At that time, what kind of language do they use like that thing? So we are going to focus on these things, right? Not about their actions. Okay. Yes. Thank you. So for another second point, so now imagine like we all finish giving like noting down, we all finish observing. So after we finish observing, before we go and meet with the teachers or before we give feedback, what should you do? What do you think? Before we give feedback, what should we do? What do you think? What kind of thing should we do first? It's something start with P. So before we go and talk with the teacher, yeah, sure, you're right. Yeah. We are going to prepare. Okay, so do not forget to prepare well, especially when you are talking with some of the teachers or students. You need to really prepare well. Without preparation, you better not talk with them first. Okay? So after that, let's imagine like we are going to discuss each other. Okay, so at the time when we are discussing, before we start discussing, so like you all mentioned, we are going to discuss about two things. So I might tell them to do this one first. So I will ask them to do some kind of thing first. What kind of thing are they going to do? What do you think? They are going to, before we talk, we need to, whether the students or whether the teacher, they need to do one thing. Can you see my action?
Yes.
So what do you think? What are they going to do first? Before we talk each other. Something start with
Recalling memories.
I'm not recalling memory, but we have got one more for it.
Reflection.
Reflection.
Reflection is the key of success, I believe. So I might tell them to reflect. So as a teacher also, whenever you finish, do not forget to reflect. Okay. So you can also ask your student to reflect on their own. Okay, everyone, let's imagine like you all finished doing role play, right? So now reflect about what kind of thing you can do well. What kind of area do you need to improve? You can think. Okay. So after that, you will start discussing with them. Okay. These are the things what I used to do whenever I give feedback. Okay. So at the end, I'm going to discuss with them. So that we can also discuss each other, also share view from both sides. So that by doing so, I think that we will have a, better one. And one thing, like I have mentioned, for some of the things, for their improvement, so we also need some kind of follow-up, right? So as a trainer, as a senior teacher, or maybe as a teacher, you can also do some kind of follow-up. So for me, as a follow-up one, so what I will do is like, I am going to tell them to write down, okay, all their strengths and weakness on their own back. Okay, so for me, what kind of feedback am I giving? Am I giving written feedback or am I giving spoken feedback? What do you think? According to my procedures here.
Written feedback.
Both of them, I think.
Okay, yes.
Spoken feedback.
I think both of them.
Okay, yes. So
Both of
for
them.
the first one, I observe, I try to note down, I prepare the feedback, and then I give time for them to do reflection. After they have done reflection, we start discussing. That is the thing, the process that I will do for giving feedback. Okay. So after that, as a follow-up one, I'm going to tell them to write down what we had discussed. Okay. So I might ask the teacher or the learners to write down what kind of things the teacher has mentioned. They have to write down. After they have written down, what will they do is like they are going to share what they have written down. They are written feedback to me back. At that time, I will check their written feedback. I will check whether they really understand what I have mentioned or not. Okay. After that, if it is needed, I will try to provide written feedback only at that time. Because we have spent a lot of minutes for like giving feedback to each other. So I want, my feedback to be effective so that I am going to like make sure whether they really understand what we have discussed or not. So I will do as a follow-up. Okay. So yes, any question about the step that I am doing? This is just my personal experience. So this is how I am doing as a teacher trainer or, as a teacher. Yes. So if you got a question for that also, you can ask. Okay. So before that, before you ask question also, let me also remind you two things. So whenever you give feedback, you have to make sure you are giving like constructive feedback, not a general one. Okay. Instead of telling like, for example, you might be telling you need to improve grammar. If we are saying you need to improve grammar, do you think is it specific? Not really, right? So make sure your feedbacks are really effective and also specific ones. So you might be telling which grammar point, in which area, what kind of thing do they need to learn. For example, they write a story, let's say, they need to write with past tense, but they don't use it. So you might be telling them, I think next time maybe when you write down the writing, you have to use like past tense or like that. You have to get specific one, right? Yeah, this is just example. And also another thing is that we have to be careful about the setting. And also in the book that I had read, what did they mention is like, instead of like telling them, the teacher to come to the office and listen for the feedback, you better go to the, classroom or the place that they are really familiar with. And also you can give feedback. Okay. So atmosphere is also really important in order to get great feedback, effective feedback. and also your tone of voice, and also you have to be careful about your body language as well. So if you're trying to be careful of these things, I think that you will be able to give, really effective feedback so that they will be able to improve, but first of all, they might improve their self-awareness first. After that, they will be able to improve their teachings and learning. Okay, that's all for my part. So if you have got questions, you can ask the question to me. Yeah, this is the time for question and answer. So if you don't have questions or answer, or while we are waiting for question and answer, I would like to say thank you so much for joining again. So like I have mentioned, after question and answer session, we will have feedback session as well. So, while you are waiting, the teacher who will be giving feedback to us, to me, or who will be who will be asking question to me. So you can also answer the question from the link. Okay. I'm going to send you Google form. In that Google form, you will be able to find something that you need to fill. I think it will take only for about 3 or 4 minutes only. So please answer this before you leave from this workshop. If you still have question, you can still ask the question too. Can you all see Google Form that I have set? Yes. Before you leave from this workshop, if you still have a question, you can still ask the question. And if you finish filling the form, you can also join for another meeting. Thank you so much for joining today.
Thank you, teacher.
Hello, teacher. Can I ask a question?
Yeah, teacher Lisa, why not?
So can we also use the same technique for the students? I mean, between the students only, like peer feedback.
Peer feedback.
Yes.
So peer feedback is not the thing that I have mentioned. So do you mean, let me clarify your question a bit more. So do you want to know about peer feedback, or do you want to know about the one that I use? Can I
Just
feedback?
peer feedback between the students only, teacher. So
Yeah, why
can we
not?
use
If your student is a bit old enough, you can also use that one.
Yes,
I mean peer feedback, one feedback,
yes.
teacher. Yeah, thank you, teacher.
Thank you so much, teacher.
Yes, by the way, I forgot to share one thing to you all. So if you want to read more about, giving feedback, also you can also read these. I will send you from the chat, and also I can also send from okay. Yeah, for the teacher.
Teacher, may I ask you a question?
Yeah, why not? Share.
Do I need to only give constructive feedback to students?
Actually, for giving feedback, whenever we give feedback, we are saying like generally the result will not be affected as well. I think the result will not be really a good one. If you can give like detailed feedback, they will know what kind of thing they need to improve so that can make it, I guess. Yeah. For constructive feedback, you can give not only to the student but also for the teacher. Do you mean like that? Is it your question?
Yes.
So the teacher who want like something to read, person that will give him feedback. Here are the five. I just forget that one. Yeah, you can download. And also, I think some teachers are talking about feedback. Actually, you can also learn from DKT core module, unit 33 also. Because I heard some teacher mention about writing code. So you can read this one also. Yes.
Yes, teacher. Unit 33 DKT.
Yeah, this is for students for giving feedback because some teacher mentioned about writing code. Yes. For the
Yes.
first one is for you. Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Teacher, maybe senior teacher, in order to give feedback to junior. You can use it.
Yes. Thank you, teacher.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Yeah. Thank you, teacher. Bye bye.